Today I'm looking at a 2011 Ford Mondeo. This one won't charge. I'm going to start the car and see what's going on. I've put a jump pack on it because it's too dead to start the car. It had 11 point something volts. I'll try it again. Now it's started. Okay, so I'll put a load on. We'll see what volts we have. Need to check it with a load on in case it's got a smart charger, and it's not going to charge it if it doesn't need to. So I'll put a load on so it will charge. Let's switch this off and make sure it's not that. Let's also switch off the buzzer. There. It's not charging on the load. So we're going to go straight to the battery. I don't know if you can hear me. I'm going straight to the alternator here. This is what's at the battery if I press that. 10.9. If I go onto this post, 10.8, 10.9. So it's the same. So there's no between here and the battery is the same. Next thing I want to check is there's no volts on the case, so it's got a good ground. We've got the load on, the engine block doesn't have volts on it, so the last thing, there's only one wire on the control side. I'll see what's going on there quick. What I'm going to do is switch this to a graph, so we'll get a graph if this works, like that, min-max. That's like a LIN bus signal, so we know the LIN bus is okay. If I can unplug it, so I don't know if you can hear me over the engine. I'm going to unplug it and check it again. One sec. That's what's coming out of the wire, and the wire is disconnected, so I've just disconnected it now to see. There's the wire all the way back to the engine computer. Don't know if you could hear me then. Basically I was just checking it all the way back to the engine computer there by unplugging it, and we know that signal has to be coming from the engine computer. So let's just turn it off, because we know the signal's good all the way back to the engine computer, and we know it's not putting out a charge. The wire's okay, because we just checked it. LIN bus is going all the way to the alternator. The pulley's turning and the belt's okay. So we're going to take the alternator off and try a new one. It does look like that's the only thing left. We've got a second-hand one here actually. Going to put that one on. I just made a note of where the fan belt goes, although I don't really need to. Could just take a picture with your phone if you want, but anyway. Oh, the other thing I've done is lifted it off the ground, got the under tray off and the wheel arch off so I could get to the tensioner, release the tensioner, which is down there. I moved the headlight out the way. It's 2 screws. Got that out the way so that I could see what's going on. Then I've got the 3 bolts on this power steering, and also lifted up the reservoir bottle so that I could lift it a little higher. Now we can really see it, it's right there. I'm going to have to take the battery off, disconnect the battery to make it safe for doing this. However, we've already lost the radio code, so I'm not going to bother putting a memory saver on it. Just going to disconnect that, and then make a start on getting the battery out, getting the alternator out. That's it out. All that you've missed is down here where my finger is now was the idler, which is somewhere, don't know where I put it there. 10mm bolt, got that from underneath. Then I could get to the bolts, 13-headed bolt, that one, they fit. You don't need to drop the engine mount. They fit out. The only thing was, I'd already removed this. The power steering pump's already removed. I've just slid this oil filler to the side and took this bracket off that goes right here. Took that out of the way. Two 13mm headed bolts, and the alternator fits right out of that hole. So there's the old one. I'll put the new one in, build it up and see what's going on. What I'm going to do, because it's not new, these lugs have got this, it adjusts itself when you tighten it up, it goes in. I need to press those back out the way. If it was a new one, they'd already be out and they'd be free to slide as you tighten it. Some of these are too tight to move, but what I'm doing is using one of the bolts that I just had on the car and one of the nuts that I had on the car, and I'm going to just wind it in using an, I think that's 19mm socket, so it's big enough to go over the slider. If you get one of these and they're too tight and something's going to break, it's just not going to go, you could heat it. But what I do if they're like that is usually just put a file across here, file it down with a flat file, and just so it's just enough to go in snug. It does tighten up a bit then when you tighten it on the car. Got it built back up again, the replacement alternator. So it's charging now, I'm happy with it, I've got a load on it. Hopefully it's helpful to somebody how to test it. There's not much, it had everything it should have. No voltage drop, no voltage on the ground side, and we had a LIN bus signal. Anything left is a faulty alternator or the pulley at the end not spinning the alternator, but that was okay. Thanks for watching.